Hi, today I'm going to give you some tips about traveling with an infant. I first traveled with my little one when he had just completed 3 months, and these are some things that I learned through my journey and the flight and immigration check-in. So I'll just give you a few tips that I wish I had before I traveled that would have made my travels easier. Number one, wear your baby in a baby carrier and check in the pram. So what happened was I had the pram with me, and when I reached the customs, this was in Dubai airport, when I reached the customs they wanted to screen the pram. So I was traveling alone, and it's really difficult when you're holding a 3-month infant. Now who's going to hold the infant if you need to fold the pram and put it through the x-ray machine? So that was a little difficult, and I did not anticipate that they would actually ask me to screen the pram. So my advice would be, at the check-in counter, check in the pram and wear the baby in the baby carrier, because everybody knows international airports are huge and you're going to have to walk a lot. So always check in the pram and just wear the baby on the baby carrier. Number two, wear comfortable clothing and footwear. Ideally, your footwear should not have laces, because some airports ask you to remove your footwear when you're going through the metal detectors. So a slip-on pair of flat shoes. Wear anti-slip shoes because you don't want to slip with the baby. Wear comfortable clothes. Now your clothing can include deep pockets, which would be safe and secure to hold your passport and your boarding pass. So you need to carry 2 passports and the boarding passes. So either you could wear it on you if you're comfortable doing that, or if you prefer carrying it in your backpack, make sure it's an easily accessible place, because no matter which airport, you're going to have to present your passport and your boarding pass at least 3 different counters. So you want to keep your passport and your boarding pass in a secure place, either on you, on deep pockets, or in your bag in an easily accessible, secure place. Number 3, carry extra clothes for both the baby and the mother. I was standing in the line for immigration and the baby just vomited all over me. So also another tip, don't shake the baby while you're standing in the immigration line. I was holding the baby and trying to rock the baby to sleep, and it ended up upsetting the baby, and by the time I went ahead in the immigration line, my baby just puked all over me. Luckily, I was wearing a stole, so the baby puked on the stole. So I could just remove the stole and my top was still clean. And I had to actually go through the rest of immigration and security smelling of puke. So my tip to you would be, wearing a stole would help save your clothes, but do carry an extra top for yourself as well as extra clothes for the baby. Number 4, carry big Ziploc bags. So once the baby puked on me, I had to remove those clothes, and luckily I had a Ziploc bag with me. So you could put the clothes that are smelly, because you're not going to have time to rinse or to get them cleaned. You're going to have to carry the dirty clothes with you. So if you put them into a Ziploc bag, that prevents all the smell from traveling to your other clothes and mixing with your other handbag items. So carrying a Ziploc bag, carry as big as possible so that you can put in all the clothes. You can carry 1 or 2, but it'll just make your bag bulkier. So a big Ziploc bag, because newborn baby clothes are not that big anyway. So this could actually fit a onesie, a top, my top, as well as a pair of shoes. The 5th tip is, carry a changing mat. Carry a light changing mat. I use the Mimi. The size 50 centimeters to 70 centimeters is actually perfect to keep on the changing table. Like the changing table in the airports, they have a plastic surface and they do have tissue that you can wrap, but some places the tissue might be run out and you don't really want to place your baby directly on a surface that is being used by public. So carrying a changing mat of at least 50 centimeters should cover you and give you enough of length to keep the baby on. The 6th tip for you is to use isopropyl alcohol to clean the surface. So they're not going to allow you to carry a big bottle. So what you could do is transfer some of this into a 100 ml bottle, spray can. So what you do is, when you take the baby into the changing room, you spray the surface first, disinfect it, and after that place the changing mat, and then you can change the baby. So that way you stand less chance of baby picking up any kind of infection or even touching the surface, because you know the baby's hands and legs are going to be all over the place. So you want to keep the surface sterile and as clean as you can. Tip number 7. Once you've cleared immigration and security, the next thing you got to do is to locate your gate. As you're walking towards your gate, also keep an eye out for changing rooms or mother's rooms. So what you could do is, you could plan depending upon your arrival time at the gate, or what time you need to be at the gate, you can plan to change your baby or feed your baby in the nearest mother's room. So you need to locate the nearest mother's room. Tip number 8. Change the baby before entering the gate to avoid having to change the baby on the aircraft. If you need to change the baby on the aircraft, follow the same sterilization steps and use the lavatory to change the baby. Tip 9. Carry a feeding cushion on the aircraft. You can fold this and put it into your baby bag or into your stroller, but use this as a must-have on the aircraft. This would fit snugly on your lap and keep the baby in place on the aircraft. Having a feeding cushion with you avoids the need of having a bassinet all the time, especially if you're flying budget or if you're flying an economy flight that doesn't have the facility for a bassinet. Having a feeding cushion would really help to secure the baby on the aircraft. Tip 10. From emergency clothes and food, also ensure that you carry your baby medicines with you on the aircraft. You never know when your baby might get sick, come up with a fever. My baby had got a very high fever on our return flight, and I was so grateful that I carried his medicines with me in the baby bag. So always carry your baby medicines with you. Carry enough of baby food and formula. It's also necessary to anticipate that there could be delays in your flight, or your flight could be grounded and you might be in the airport for at least 24 hours more than expected. So it's always better to carry sufficient amount of formula if you're formula feeding the baby, and also carry enough snacks for the mummy. Like you could carry some nuts, some chocolate bars, some biscuits, because once you've checked in, once you've cleared immigration, if you're waiting at the gate and then if there's a delay, you're stuck at your gate, and having to walk back all the way to the cafeteria or to the food court would be a long walk in some cases, and some cases you might not have enough of time, plus you have the baby, you have your bags. It might be tiresome to go all the way back. So carry enough of snacks for the mama and a bottle of water. Now airports only allow you to carry 100 ml of water, so even most airports actually provide drinking water filters, so you can refill your bottle out there, or you can just pick up extra bottles of water. But stay hydrated and carry enough of snacks. Most of all, enjoy your flight. Enjoy the experience of traveling with your baby. Look outside the window when you can and try and sleep if possible. Have a safe flight. Bye-bye.